Announcing the world-class sedans at a special price, the Hyundai Excel.
More horsepower.
Power.
Multi-point.
Fuel injected.
More power.
Automatic.
Automatic 4-speed.
Overdrive?
Sure.
Stereo, too.
Stereo cassette.
Stereo.
Really?
Oh.
Wiper.
Intermittent. Wiper. Rear defogger.
More legroom. Pocket seats.
5-passenger living room.
Tinted glass.
Dual remote mirrors.
Nice wheels.
Excel 4-door and from Hyundai, now specially priced at just $70.99. Test drive at just $71.99. Test drive a world-class value at your nearest Hyundai dealer. Do it today.
Next, the fifth game of the Patrick Division Finals, the Caps versus the Rangers. Then at 10:30, the Jeffersons, followed by the Arsenio Hall Show, tonight on DC-20 WDCA-TV. DC-20 Sports proudly presents Washington Capitals Playoff Hockey. The road to the Stanley Cup. Tonight's game is sponsored in part by Busch Beer. Head for the mountains of Busch, your local Volkswagen dealer, where you'll find Farfignugan. It's what makes a car a Volkswagen. Providence Savings. Solid service, solid rates, and solid strength make Providence the solid choice in banking. C&P Telephone Yellow Pages. No other book can match it. C&P Telephone, a Bell Atlantic company. Giant Food. We care about quality and value. We care about you. And by Herb Gordon Auto World, one of the wonders of the world.
Tonight, live from Madison Square Garden in New York City, it's Game 5 of the Patrick Division final round of the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Washington Capitals and the New York Rangers. Good evening, everybody. Mike Forens, your play-by-play host, along with Al Koken, the Caps and the Rangers here on WDCA TV 20 tonight. Washington has a chance to wrap up this series and for the first time advance to the conference championship.
Mike, I think really the biggest thing tonight has got to be the mental approach of both teams. The Rangers have got to believe they can win 3 in a row, that they can come back from this 3-1 deficit. And I think importantly for the Capitals, they have got to believe all the miseries of the past playoff performances are behind them. It's a new team, it's a new decade, it's a new approach. If the mental aspect works out for either side, then we'll have, I think, the result that each side wants.
Let's head downstairs right now to Jeff Rimmer.
Thanks, Mike. Joining us here on WDCA TV 20 Sports for this Washington Capitals playoff telecast, Dino Ciccarelli, to provide some analysis and certainly some commentary. And, Dino, the importance of tonight's game, please.
Well, I think it's real important. I think the game plan, I'm talking to some of the guys, you want to keep the fans out of the game early. You want to try to go out there and maybe get an early goal or, don't let them get any opportunities. Forecheck, take their defense out of the game like we did in game 2 and 3, and keep the crowd out of it, and then hopefully that'll go in our favor.
What's the mental frame up for the team as the game time approaches?
Well, I've been in the locker room, and we're not taking it any differently. It's just a pretty intense atmosphere. We've been around too long. We know the situation for the organization, and by no means it's not over. It's going to be a tough one. The fourth one is always the toughest to win, and the guys are ready in there.
Let's head back upstairs now to Mike Forens and Al Koken.
All right, Jeff, thank you very much. And, while the Capitals could certainly finish off all those playoff ghosts that we've talked about so many times that have seemingly plagued them over the past 7 years, what about the Rangers' frame of mind? Their history in terms of not winning in the Stanley Cup playoffs goes back a lot farther. They've advanced to conference championships and even to Stanley Cup finals, but no Stanley Cup wins here for 50 years. Wouldn't that inspire them?
It should, and that was the talk before the playoffs began, that the 50 years of misery behind them, that it is a new team, a whole new decade, the same way the Capitals are approaching it. But they played a good game in Game 4 and came up short. They had a dramatic rally, they had everything going their way, and then Rod Langway completely burst the balloon and put the Capitals on top. I think Mike Gartner made the best point. Again, talking about the mental aspect of the game, saying if the team believes they can do it, they can. But if 5 guys believe in that team, 5 guys out of 20, that they can't, then the Rangers have no chance. They've got to win tonight, obviously, to stay alive, but they've got to come up with that key performance. You heard Dino talk about taking the crowd out early. Well, what the Rangers need to do is make sure they get that first goal, make sure this crowd is a factor all night long, and then put the seeds of doubt in the minds of the Capitals by forcing a 6th game.
Okay, once again, let's head downstairs to Jeff Rimmer.
Thanks, Mike. With us, Coach Terry Murray. Terry, what's the mood as the club prepares for maybe the team's most important game in its history?
Well, the mood is very good, Jeff. The players are confident in there. They know it's going to be a very difficult game, a very emotional game. The fans are certainly going to be very lively here. and we have to be right on our toes, particularly the first 10 minutes of the game, Jeff. They're going to come at us real hard offensively and try to get something going with some big hits, maybe.
You expect this game to be a physical one?
Well, yes, I expect contact, Jeff. I expect everybody to be finishing their check and to execute the basic fundamentals real well. I don't think anybody's going to intentionally run out of their way to do anything here. There's too much on the line, too much at stake, and the way the referees are calling everything right now, Jeff, you know, it's not going to be anything that's out of control, but certainly, yeah, there will be some solid hits in there.
Very good luck tonight.
Thank you, Jeff.
Back upstairs.
All right, Jeff, thank you. And you can hear that tremendous roar in the background here at Madison Square Garden as the Rangers are taking to the ice surface. So are the Washington Capitals. Dino Ciccarelli talked about taking this crowd out early. I would think that the crowd is going to try and make themselves a part of this game from start to finish. I don't think there'll be any dead spots if these fans have a say in it.
No, they are ready for this game. They've been buzzing all for the final 20 minutes. And I think it's a situation where, as Terry Murray says, it's going to be a physical game. Not only a goal is important, but there's going to be some big hits. The Caps can continue to wear down the Ranger defense. I think things will go their way.
Okay, we'll be back with the opening face-off of tonight's contest after this.
Next week on DC-20 Star Treatment, win passes to 3 great summer movies from Paramount Pictures. Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise, Eddie Murphy in Another 48 Hours, and Ghost with Patrick Swayze. And qualify for Friday night's drawing of a trip for 2 to be a star at Universal Studios Hollywood, home of Jaws, King Kong, and Earthquake. Transportation provided by U.S. Air, official airline of Universal Studios Hollywood. Tune into each DC-20 movie next week and watch for the star to appear. Call into the special contest phone number and be one of the first 20 callers to win. Next week at 8 on DC-20 WDCA-TV.
If you're looking for a sporty family sedan, you could spend $11,450 for a Nissan Stanza XE or $11,588 for a Toyota Camry. But for only $10,295, you could get a German-engineered Volkswagen Jetta with front-wheel drive, fuel-injected engine, and something the other cars can't provide, a satisfying driving experience called Fahrvergnügen. It's what makes a car a Volkswagen.
Right now, financing with no down payment on 1990 Volkswagen. See dealer for details.
At Safeway, it's easy to get great produce and the best selection of freshly prepared deli food. At Safeway, it's easy to get oven-fresh baked goods and ocean-fresh seafood. And now it's easier than ever to get all of those things and more, because now Safeway delivers. See the difference Safeway Express Home Delivery makes. Call 1-800-284-7467.
There is no substitute for extra effort. For the Caps, extra effort means solid results. And solid results are yours at Northern Virginia's solid savings bank, Providence Savings. Providence offers free checking, ATMs that pay you, 6 different CDs, 5 money market plans, and over 40 home and construction loans. That's extra effort in banking. Providence Savings has 10 offices. Stop in today and let their extra effort give you a solid financial future. Providence Savings, your solid choice.
The call in goal for the Washington Capitals. He's 3-2 in 6 playoff appearances, has allowed 20 goals against, and posted a 3.72 average, no shutouts. Jim Hrivnak will back him up. For the New York Rangers, Roger Nielsen turns to John Van Beesbrook, who is 2-2 in 5 games, a 3.38 average, no shutouts, 13 goals against. Mike Richter, the backup goalkeeper this evening for New York. There's Terry Gregson. He'll be the referee tonight. The linesmen are Randy Mitten and Swede Knox. The alternate official is Andy Van Helleman. He would handle a sixth game if necessary in Washington on Sunday night. And the off-ice officials are the gentlemen who normally staff the New York Islander games over in Long Island.
And Mike, Roger Nielsen's put out the Nichols line with Gardner and Millette between Bernie Nichols. And Alan May is lined up next to Troy Millette. He's not normally out there with John Tucker and Tim Berglund.
Here's James Patrick to start out. Now we're underway with Game 5. Washington leads the series 3-1. Here's Nichols in to throw a hit. Liut crashes into the back of the goal, and now there's a pile-up behind the net. Al May is on top of that pile. There are several players underneath. Scott Stevens' helmet has come off, and there's Millette getting up from the bottom of the pile-up as Bob Rouse skates away.
Well, Millette came after the puck, tried to give a shot to Bob Rouse. Rouse dodges him just a little bit and kind of spins Millette then in. Millette takes out Liut as he bounces off the glass. Where Stevens lost his helmet, I don't know, but remember, Troy Millette felt he was speared by Scott Stevens in Game 4 at the end of the second period. Played a little bit, but not as much in the third period. So we'll see if there's any retribution going on there.
The face-off back to the point. Here's a shot by James Patrick. That's blocked. And now Alan May starts back to center ice. He's inside the Ranger zone. Fires! And he sent it just wide. Now Berglund puts it in the corner. Back to get it for the Rangers is Patrick. A jam up in the corner behind the play between Hardy and Alan May. Now the puck cleared out to center ice, and here's John Tucker to take it for Washington. Dumps it back inside the Ranger zone. Van Beesbrook leads it behind the goal, and starting out is Hardy. A lead pass to Troy Millette. Here's Millette to center to Mike Gartner. In across the blue line. He's checked on the play, a centering pass right in front, and there was Johansson to steer that out. Cleared out of the zone by May to center, and the Caps complete the line change now. The Rangers changing up some players, too, as the puck cleared to center ice, and then Hatcher dumps it back into the corner. No score. We're just underway with the game. Here's Nichols without a helmet. Loses it to Leach. He fires, and it hit the skates of Rochefort right in front. Now we get a whistle and a holding penalty call coming up here against New York. And that will give Washington the game's first power play advantage.
Not 24, not 36, but 48. Full 48-month, 4.8 APR GMAC financing. That's music to your ears when you buy a new Pontiac Grand Am, Le Mans, Sunbird, or Grand Prix. Here's an extra for Grand Prix buyers, $1,000. 4.8 financing plus $1,000 cash back. See King, Brown, Atlas, Kuhn, Star, Heritage Auto Park, and Oscar Tate Pontiac.
Norman Rochefort in the box for holding at 1:12. Time for the first Circuit City Power Play contest. Contestant number 1, Elizabeth Bell of Annapolis. Now, Elizabeth has chosen Jeff Courtnall as the Capitals player to score in this power play. Courtnall scores, you win a video or stereo unit courtesy of Circuit City.
Courtnall has one power play goal so far in the playoffs, and Hatcher is out there right now on the point with Scott Stevens. Turcotte races in to chase him, and Stevens has the puck. Courtnall is on the ice for Washington. John Druce is out there as well as Dale Hunter. Now the puck shot into the Ranger players bench and out of play, and we'll have another face-off. 1:36 left to go in the Rochefort penalty call for holding that came at 1:12 of the first period. 18:24 to go in period 1.
Dale Hunter enjoying a fine series against the New York Rangers, a goal and 7 assists in the 4 contests played. And the Rangers are obviously going to have to pay some close attention to the Cap people in front of the net. That, in theory, should open things up for the Capital point men, in this case Stevens and Hatcher, particularly with John Druce out there, who has been so dominating with 6 power play goals. He has got to get so much attention. The Rangers may have to drop one of those penalty-killing forwards down a little more, have him cheat a little more, and we'll see if Stevens and Hatcher can take advantage, or Rouse and Johansson. Whichever combination is out there working the points for Washington.
Here's Kevin Hatcher over to Scott Stevens. Now back to Hatcher inside the Washington zone. Scott Stevens brings it ahead to center ice. Feeds a pass to Courtnall. Jeff Courtnall to Hatcher. Walks in. He shoots, and that's deflected way upstairs into the seats.
Obviously, Roger Nielsen would like to get a top checker out there against John Druce, as hot as Druce has been, but with so much of his success coming on the power play, it's a little difficult to go in terms of a line matchup. You just obviously have to keep your top penalty kill people out there. You see the attention Drews gets and opens up just a little room initially for Hatcher. He has trouble getting it set on his stick. And that little extra time allowed Brian Mullen to come in and make a nice deflection to prevent that open shot from Kevin Hatcher finding its way on net.
Here's Mike Ridley leaning in to work against Mark Janssens. Janssens was scratched from Game 4. The pass from Johansson comes out of the zone and is back to center ice now for Scott Stevens. He dumps it in, but Hardy takes over again for the Rangers. Lead pass ahead to James Patrick on the right wing. Patrick dumps it in, and Liut clears it up the left boards now for Stevens. Out of the zone to center ice. A minute to go in the power play. Here comes Johansson in. He tries to fake and can't get the shot underway. Now Mike Ridley. Slap shot by Leach, right on. And a save made by Van Beesbroek. Caps keep the pressure on. Here's Bob Joyce into the corner. He's checked on the play. Stick handling along the boards. Joyce back to Ridley, taken over by the Rangers. And Erickson works to center and throws it all the way down. 25 seconds left in the Rochefort penalty. Washington's power play with Leach out at center ice as it's knocked down now by Paul Broughton. Broughton grabbed onto the stick of Leach and took a dive. Terry Gregson was not fooled. No penalty called. The puck cleared up the boards. Back to center ice again for Rouse. Time running out in the penalty. Over to Langway. Out to center now for Tucker. He leads it ahead for Kelly Miller. Here's a 2-on-1 with Berglund. Miller a shot and a goal! Kelly Miller! A big slap shot from the left wing side, and it sizzles over the shoulder of John Van Beesbroek. The Capitals take the lead 1-0.
The penalty to Rochefort had expired. He was back on the ice, but they were not in sync. Talking about the New York Rangers, and they get caught up ice. Randy Moeller in particular. That means Mark Hardy is the lone man back. And Kelly Miller, with that pass option taken away from him, just drills it right over the right shoulder of John Van Beesbroek for the big 1-0 Capital lead. The former Ranger comes back, picking up his second goal of the playoffs. The Capitals had 2 shots on goal during their power play, but once it was over, they get a 2-on-1 break, and Kelly Miller bangs it home to give Washington the lead.
Time of the goal, 3:16. Kelly Miller's second of the playoff series. And Washington takes a 1-0 lead in this contest. Here's another lead pass to center, and that gets beyond Miller's stick. All the way into the corner of the Rangers zone, played off the boards. John Tucker getting an assist as well as Rod Langway on the play. Now Gartner in the corner. He's checked. Stevens sends it behind the goal. Here's a centering pass. And that's all the way back to the point. Stevens keeps it in. Now back to Ridley. Mike Ridley for Washington. Hit, the puck goes to the corner, and here's Nichols to start out. Leads it ahead now to Millette. Long slap shot by Millette, blocked outside the line by Hatcher. Now Gartner trying to center. He gives it up. The Capitals start back on the attack. Alan May in across the blue line. May on the right wing. Bumped on the play by Hardy. The puck turned up the boards. And the Rangers again come back. Nichols starts out with a right wing pass to Gartner. Mike Gartner across the blue line. Throws it in behind the Capitals' goal. Liut plays it along the boards. Just inside the blue line, Leach works it out of the zone to center. He and Millette push and shove, and the Rangers come back. Here's Nichols dropping it off for Gartner, who dumps it into the corner of the Washington zone. Dale Hunter back of the goal. Right side pass gets away from Leach all the way down the ice. This will be an icing call as Hardy goes back to pick it up. But Washington has scored first on the goal by Kelly Miller. They lead the Rangers 1-0.
From William Friedkin, director of The Exorcist.
I'm not crazy, Mr. Sterling. I thought maybe somebody else had this woman in their house.
She cooks, she cleans, she takes care of the baby. What else does she do? There's no evidence that the woman you describe ever existed.
The Guardian. Rated R. Now playing at theaters everywhere.
That Kelly Miller goal giving the Capitals bench quite a lift. Now the Hunter line is out there with Druce and Courtnall. Roger Nielsen countering. Jan Eriksson lined up against John Druce. Druce on the right wing, Eriksson on the left. Turcotte will play center, and Paul Broughton works the right side on this unit for the New York Rangers.
Caps get the draw. The puck cleared off the boards, and Kept in by Broughton, but taken away now by Washington's Jeff Courtnall. Here's Courtnall, a 3-on-2, in across the line to Hunter. And as Hunter tries to head for the goalie, here's a whistle. The play has been called offside by linesman Randy Mitten.
Well, if you were one of those people shut out the other night in an attempt to get tickets for the 4th game of this series, the way to guarantee yourself a seat for all the remaining Capital home playoff games is to put down a deposit on a season ticket or partial plan for next year. If you'd like more information, Cap sales reps are standing by at the Capitol Center. They're ready to answer your questions at 386-7080. That's 386-7080. I understood they could have sold about 2,000 or 3,000 extra tickets the other night. So if you'd like to make sure you're on hand for the rest of the Capital home playoff games, 386-7080 to talk to Cap sales reps.
Here's Bob Rouse to start back. Washington leads in this game 1-0 over the Rangers. In across the blue line is Courtnall. He throws it behind the net. Into the corner is Rochefort. Slams it off the glass, and it comes out to center. And there is Scott Stevens to go back and get it, but there's going to be an icing call now. As the ruling is, it did not touch any players on the way down the ice. So icing brings the faceoff back to the Ranger zone, and Washington has certainly started this contest, Al, the way they wanted to, not only in getting the first goal, but here we are 5.5 minutes into the game, and New York doesn't even have a shot on Mike Liut.
Exactly right, Mike. I mean, the Rangers have to be the desperate team and come out and play like the desperate team, but that, I think, is the difference we're seeing in the Capitals overall this year. They are playing with such confidence and such emotion and discipline. They're being physical. They're doing the things they have to do. They get an early power play because they drove to the front of the net, something they have done so successfully against both the New Jersey Devils and here against the New York Rangers. They put the shots on, and they have been airtight right now on their defense, forcing probably a little tight Ranger team into some problems.
Here's Langway back at the point, winds up and fires, and the deflection goes just wide. The puck is trapped on the back of the netting. Now it's moved, and the Rangers are playing it. Kelly Kissio turns in his own end, leads the pass over to Lindy Ruff. Here's Ruff to center ice, throws it back inside Washington's blue line, and Langway chips it out to center from there. In the Ranger zone, here's James Patrick, who has 11 points in the playoffs. Dumping it back into the Washington zone, and Langway goes to chase it. Langway off the backboards over to Kevin Hatcher. Now Hatcher starts out to center, and Berglund back to the blue line. Taken over by Lindy Ruff on defense. Here's Ruff. Ahead to Mullen. Stolen puck. Rob Murray, 1-on-2. A long shot forcing Van Beesbrook to handle the puck. But he makes the save and spins it back to center ice. Here's a hit on Gartner at center ice by Murray, and the puck thrown back inside the New York zone. Greshner off the board. Rob Murray keeps it in play, throws it behind the net. Back to the right point, Bob Rouse. Along the boards now, and here's Nick Kypreos to drive, deflected wide by Van Beesbrook. The puck taken to the corner, and Van Greshner is there to get it. Greshner out to Millette at center ice. In to challenge Rouse. Poke check at the blue line. And Scott Stevens rushes it back to the Ranger zone. Here's Scott Stevens. Checked on the play by Millette. Across the blue line, here's Rouse to work it loose. And the puck goes into the corner, and Gartner's back. He's hit by Kypreos. And Rouse makes the play off the boards and clears the Washington zone, dumping it back to the Ranger end.
Two things, Mike. The Caps standing up so well at the blue line, and because the Rangers are trying to make plays, the Caps are just poke-checking the puck away. And when the Rangers are dumping it in, they're sending two men deep. The Caps defense are reversing nicely to break out of the zone.
Here's Johansson, a high slap shot from the point, deflected up off the glass. Steve Leach in the corner now to get it for Washington. Brings it back to Mike Ridley. Ridley chased on the play, back to Hatcher. He fires. Van Beesbrook the save, and the rebound finally picked up by Mike Gartner. Gartner out to center for Millette. Millette to the blue line. We have a penalty call coming up. This is against Washington. And a high sticking call coming here against the Capitals, and that'll give the Rangers their first chance with a man advantage.
This is the book that got Bubba cooked. This is the man who read an ad that ran in the book that got Bubba cooked. This is the store that sold to the man who read an ad that ran in the book that got Bubba cooked. This is the lake next to the store with an ad in the book that got Bubba cooked. And this is Bubba. The genuine C&P telephone yellow pages. No other book can catch it. A Bell Atlantic Company.
There's a shot by Kevin Hatcher that John Van Beesbroek gets a piece of, that rebound loose for a moment. The Rangers cover up. Now here's the penalty on Hatcher. Calling this a high sticking penalty is Hatcher using the stick to slow up Millette, but it rides up and catches a piece of Millette's chin. So the Rangers, with their first power play opportunity of the night, they have yet to put a shot on goal. The Caps have pumped 7 at John Van Beesbroek.
In the last 3 games, the Ranger power play has gone 2 for 21. At the point, Turcotte tries to keep it in. Now Mullen feeds it rink wide, and Scott Stevens is over to chase it. Here's Stevens, had it knocked away by Ogrodnik, right in front, and a shot by Kitsio goes wide. Back to the point for Turcotte. Turcotte to Patrick, a drive, and that's knocked down in front of the net. And chased to the corner now by Ogrodnik. Ogrodnik and Stevens battle for it in the corner. Kitsio reaches in and tries to get the puck, but Ridley clears it back to the point. James Patrick dumps it in behind the Washington net. Here's Bob Rouse to play it off the boards and out to center ice for Miller. But off his stick, it bounces right over to Mullen. Mullen to Patrick. Patrick skates to center, gives to Turcotte. Turcotte a wrist shot wide of Liut. Liut scoops it up. Now makes the play over to Langway. Langway being forechecked. 2 Rangers back there after him. The puck cleared off the boards and behind the goal, and it goes all the way to the point. James Patrick keeps it in. Liut pushing the puck away. It's underneath the Capital defenseman, Bob Rouse, and now touched by Liut. He covers it up. Rouse gets a shot from behind by Kitsio, and Ridley comes into his aid.
Well, they have, since they started to take control of this series, the Capitals, although they haven't been able to catch up so far with the New York point men, they certainly are clearing house in front. Very physical operation. Bob Rouse not even bothering to play the puck, just eliminating the man. Figuring if he does that, he's going to get help, and he does. That is the way the Capitals have been playing, aggressively going after the point men and clearing bodies in front of the goaltenders.
The Ranger power play at 26% at this point in the series. 15 goals out of 58 chances. They started this series at 32%, scoring 10 power play goals against the Islanders in 5 games. And in 4 games against the Caps, they've come up with but only 5 extra strength goals. Capitals, by the way, have 7 power play goals scored in 4 games. Washington's penalty killing at 83%. And again, they continue that effort by clearing the puck all the way down the ice. We're down to 37 seconds left here in this Ranger power play. What a great job of penalty killing the Capitals did in Game 4. The Rangers went 1 for 8 in the 4th game. Caps killing off the other 7. Here comes Mike Gartner across the blue line. Tries to split the defense. Can't do it. The puck comes loose. Here's a shot. Liut the save. And pushes that rebound back out front. Now a drive. Faking by Hardy. He walks in and shoots. And it's deflected up off the glass. Tim Berglund against the corner boards. Jams up with Troy Millette. At the point. Here's Moeller to keep it in. Penalty's over. Hatcher's back on the ice. And Washington is at full strength. Here's Hatcher with the puck. Leads it over to Langway, who scored the overtime game-winning goal in Game 4. Wrist shot by Langway, blocked by Moeller. He chases to the corner now and grabs the rebound. Starts out to Millette. Millette to center, throws it back to the Washington blue line. Al May throws a hit there. Now it comes loose, and here's Calle Johansson with the puck. He sends it over to Bob Rouse. Rouse dumping it back inside the Ranger zone. Puck cleared off the glass. And over the glass, it goes on the side into the seats.
All the colors of nature at your nearby Giant Flower Shop.
Marino, you were right about the first goal. What happens now?
Just keep frustrating them. They only got 3 shots so far. Keep them off the boards and keep the crowd out, like I said earlier.
Back upstairs to Mike Canal. All right, the Capitals 6-0 when they score first during these playoffs. There's that good deep pressure, and I think this is taking its toll on Normand Rochefort. 2 guys going very deep, Kypreos and Murray, in there hard against Rochefort, and it's starting to take its toll on Rochefort and some of the other Ranger defensemen. That's why I think Hardy had such a big game in his first game the other night. He was fresh, and that makes a difference.
Millette, another Ranger who has taken a real beating, especially in the last 2 games. Here's a lead pass out to center ice, and King throws it back into the Washington zone. Rouse moves it back to center ice. Washington is at full strength. And here's Calle Johansson down the left wing side. Gives it to Alan May. May, a wrist shot. Off the skate, it goes wide. Now behind the goal. Here's Johansson with the puck. Johansson throws it behind the net. Nick Kypreos hit from behind by Chris King. Al May tries to move the puck out, but Rochefort takes over, and he starts back. Left side pass out to center ice, and now driven into the corner by King. And the Capitals, Steve Leach back to play it. Or Rob Murray, rather, and Murray gets hit in behind the goal. Rouse is back to help him out. Here comes Rouse with the puck. Caps start the line change, and May dumps it in. Van Beesbrook makes the glove stop. James Patrick with pressure on him from Jeff Courtnall. Leads the pass ahead. Here's Mark Janssens to the blue line of Washington. Paul Broughton to the corner after. Cleared out of the zone to center. James Patrick dumps it back into Washington ice. Capitals leading 1-0. The Caps have outshot the Rangers 7-3. Here's Dale Hunter to center. Right wing pass. John Bruce across the blue line. Over to Courtnall. Now in behind the goal. It's played by Hardy up the boards to the point. Kept in by Sheehy. Sheehy throws it behind the net. James Patrick over after it. Hunter grabs at him, and the puck cleared all the way down back to the Washington zone, but I think they're ruling now the puck hit somebody on the Ranger bench as it went by, so the face-off will be just outside the New York blue line with 7:51 remaining in this first period.
Dale Hunter, certainly one of those guys who seems to fire up an opposing crowd. He never really keeps them that quiet. John Bruce getting a bit of a hit, but right there is Jeff Courtnall to come up with that loose puck and get it down deep again. Janssens are doing a good job trying to battle with Bruce to keep him out of play, but it's one of the things the Caps doing so well, getting to those loose pucks. Right there with Bruce keeping it alive. Next player to touch it is one of his teammates.
The Caps lead 1-0 on a goal by Kelly Miller. Only 3 minutes and 16 seconds into this game. Here's Hatcher back in his own zone. Off the stick of Tucker out to center ice and thrown by Moeller back into the Washington end. Liut stops it behind the net, and to take it there is Langway, the Capitals captain. Over to Berglund. Here comes Tim Berglund to center. Taken away by Moeller, and he flips to the blue line. Mullen back to Moeller, now over to Lindy Ruff. Back to the Caps line again, and here's Kevin Hatcher. Left side for Bob Joyce. He dumps it inside the Ranger zone, and Ruff is back behind the goal. Up to Ogrodnik. He starts out to Kissio. New Capitals coming out there now. Here's Kissio at the blue line, and stolen by Scott Stevens. He brings it ahead for Ridley. Chipped back to the Washington line, and Steve Leach gives it to Stevens. Scott Stevens, right side. Too far for Rouse, but he catches up to it. Rouse inside the zone. Turns at the point. Fires a shot. And Beesbrook juggles the save to the corner. Now here's Leach trying to center, and he just missed. Trying to feed that pass to Kelly Miller. Back come the Rangers on the attack. Troy Millette to the Washington line. Rouse plays the puck to the corner, now ties up his man, and picks up the puck behind the goal. Here's Rouse, left side for Miller. Miller works to center ice. Over to right winger Steve Leach. His shot deflected into the corner. Ridley back after it. Mike Ridley turns in front of the net, back to Leach. Can't get the wrist shot off, and the Rangers clear it. And it's sent all the way down the ice, and Liut comes out of the goal now and brings it over to Langway. Right side for Hatcher. Nichols just about stole that. Here's Courtnall into the corner again for Druce. Back to the corner again for Courtnall. Jeff Courtnall trying to center, and Gartner steals the pass. He starts back to center ice. Long slap shot. That's off the glove of Liut wide. Now played off the glass to center ice, and Hunter hustles out there to get it, but Turcotte beats him to it. 5:35 to play, first period. Kevin Hatcher off the right wing boards now for Druce. He's hit on the play. The puck comes back to Courtnall. Jeff Courtnall tries to go rink wide. And back comes Darren Turcotte. Fakes the shot. Drops it off for Broughton. He's hung up in front of the net. No penalty call on it. And the Ranger fans aren't happy, but the puck is cleared out to center ice.
Just a dynamite play by Alan May. He was coming off the bench, recognized that Scott Stevens was caught off ice, and played defense.
Here's James Patrick in front, and Stevens again takes the puck. Here come the Capitals, 3-on-3. Now 4-on-3 to the blue line. Stevens lugs it into the corner. Jeff Courtnall back to pick it up. He's bumped by Hardy. Al May is there to take it. May throws it behind the goal. And into the corner now for James Patrick. Patrick rushes the puck to center. Dumps it back inside the Capital zone. Here's Liut to get it. Soft pass off the sideboards. And cleared out of the zone all the way back to the Ranger line. Normand Rochefort up to center ice. Ogrodnik goes after Rob Murray, but the pass stolen by Kyprios. And at the blue line, he has it taken away by Ogrodnik. John Ogrodnik along, slap shot wide. Rebound cleared by Rouse out of the zone. It got between Liut and the net as it came off the backboards. These lively boards here at the Garden producing an almost scoring chance, but for Bob Rouse, who cleared the puck to center ice. Here, the Rangers are offside.
Advantage Jeep vehicles. Others copy, none compare. Advantage Eagle. New looks in performing art. Advantage Savings. Guaranteed cash back on Jeep Cherokees. New Eagle Premieres. Hot new Eagle Challenges. And Jeep Wranglers. During the Guaranteed Advantage Sellathon, the only advantage you don't have is time.
See your National Capital Area Jeep and Eagle dealer, where you can expect the best.
The Bruins tonight at the Boston Garden looking to eliminate the Montreal Canadiens, and they have jumped on top 1-0. Randy Burridge with his third goal of the year. Backhander beating Patrick Roy on the far side. That's the type of goal you never see Patrick Roy give up when he is on his game. He's so good on those low shots. And the Bruins at the 10-minute mark of the first period have jumped out to the 1-0 lead, with the Capitals here leading the Rangers with 3:55 left in period one. They're on top 1-0.
Kevin Hatcher tries to move it out of the Washington zone. It's poked back to the corner. Here's Langway to get it. And Rod Langway sends it ahead on the right wing now for Tim Berglund. Berglund out to center ice, and Bob Joyce throws it all the way down. In behind the goal, here is Randy Moeller to start back. Moeller for New York to Kerry Wilson. Back into the Washington zone. The puck settles on the back of the net. And Stevens is hit by Chris King, but the whistle blows. Play is stopped anyway. You're watching the Stanley Cup playoffs on DC-20.
Celebrate and save from economy through luxury during the Herb Gordon Auto World Spring Drive-Away Sale. Drive away great savings on an economical Nissan Sentra. Drive away and save in the roomy Dodge Spirit. Drive away and save in an exciting new Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. And don't miss the luxury and performance of the Mercedes-Benz 300E.
If you haven't seen Herb Gordon, you haven't seen Herb Gordon's Auto World.
The Spring Drive-Away Sale at Herb Gordon Auto World, one of the wonders of the world.
Chris King doing his part to fire up his team in this Madison Square Garden crowd. Catching Scott Stevens with his head down behind the Capital net. Stevens looking for that puck. Sees King coming at the last moment. Elbows get up high a little bit, but you see where that puck has been sitting right the back end of the netting because it was shot in by a New York Ranger. This faceoff will be outside of the Capital line. Ridley, Miller, and Leach out there. They'll go against Kissio, Mullen, and Ogrodnik.
In addition to the injury to Cicerelli, the Caps also without Michael Pavanka and Don Beaupre, who both are injured. Scott Kleinendorst has been scratched from the Washington lineup tonight. Kelly Miller works it back out to Steve Leach. His slap shot kicked aside by Van Beesbrook. Here come the Rangers on the attack. Mullen throws it back into the Washington zone, and Liut waits behind the goal. Now passes it out front to Steve Leach, who just missed being taken over by Kissio. But Leach sends it ahead to Miller. Miller across the line and is toppled to the ice in front of the net and given a shot now by Hardy after he was already down on the play. And the Rangers are playing a feisty brand of the game here as Rouse winds up and fires. That's blocked by Kissio. Now Rouse in the corner, checked by Ogrodnik. Rouse reaches for it, but Kissio holds him. The puck thrown to the side of the New York net. Van Beesbrook scoops it up with a glove.
Be sure to be with WDCA TV 20 either Tuesday night for Game 7 of this PAC Division Final against the Rangers, or Thursday night for Game 1 of the Wales Conference Finals from either Boston or Montreal. Either way, the game will be at 7:30 p.m., and we'll have it for you right here on WDCA TV 20. Mike, I agree with you. The Rangers certainly playing a feisty brand of hockey, but, you know, they're taking their best shots at the Capitals, and the Capitals still staying up, making the plays in the corners, keeping the puck alive. The Capitals know it's going to be that type of battle. They've got themselves mentally adjusted for that, and because they, I think, overall are a bigger and stronger team, that's why I think they're winning those battles along the boards and in the corners. No matter what kind of shots they're getting from the Rangers, Caps still staying on their skates and making the plays.
Face off to the left of John Van Beesbrook. The draw goes to the corner, and here's Hardy back to get it for New York. Over to James Patrick. Patrick starts out, leads the pass ahead to center ice for Turcotte. That play broken up just inside the blue line and finally cleared by Johansson to the sideboards. Calle Johansson up the left wing. Out to center ice, and now Dale Hunter is there. Hunter trapped on the play by Broughton. Hatcher over to Johansson. Calle Johansson back inside the Ranger zone, and it makes its way into the players' bench. We'll have a face-off just outside the Ranger blue line with 1:47 to go here in the first period. Jan Eriksson assigned a checking task many times during the season by Roger Nielsen. Finds himself having to watch first Dino Ciccarelli and now John Bruce. And John Bruce has really come on during this Ranger series.
And that's why he's out there now against Druce. And what Eriksson does, he's not a very physical player, but he's a good skater and he's smart. He anticipates where you're going to make that move. What the Capitals have seen against their top scorers, particularly when it was early in the series when Dino Ciccarelli was healthy, a combination of that very tenacious checking of Jan Eriksson against Ciccarelli, and then some physical play by Chris King in an effort to try and make you think about other things like retaliation other than goal scoring.
John Druce with 11 goals, 2 assists, and 13 points. He leads the Caps in goals and points during the playoffs. Here's Druce into the corner now for Courtnall. Turnaround shot blocked by Van Beesbrook. The puck lying right behind the Ranger net. Now it's picked up, and here's a backhand shot. Druce reaching for it, and Van Beesbrook dives in front of the net and grabs the puck as Lindy Ruff gets John Druce out of there.
Well, they do the job late, but the Rangers don't get it done early. A shove from Courtnall, gets a fist to the face, response from Lindy Ruff, and let's see what kind of penalties Terry Gregson is going to call. Pretty much keeping the Capitals at bay right now, and we'll see if both Courtnall and Ruff end up getting penalties with less than 2 minutes to play in this first period. Jeff Courtnall heading to the Capital bench, or Capital locker room, and see if Lindy Ruff does the same.
Each received 2 minutes for roughing. Time 18:42. Jeff Courtnall, Lindy Ruff, 2 minutes each for roughing.
Courtnall's response was for the shot that John Druce got a bit after the whistle, but once again, the Rangers give you that late hit, but what the Capitals are doing is continuing to outwork them behind the net. Great work by Hunter along the boards, got that puck out front, Courtnall. And watch John Druce. This is the spot where he scored so many of his playoff goals. First, he's taken down by Rochefort to no call. Then when he comes back out a little later, had that opportunity at it, was ridden off the play, and then once Van Beesbrook came out to freeze the puck, Lindy Ruff sent Druce flying.
Ridley leans in and wins the faceoff, brings it back to Bob Rouse. He fires. That shot blocked. And Gartner can't get out of the zone. Hardy over to chase the puck as Miller is trapped in the play. Now Gartner checked again. The puck cleared back to the Washington zone for Bob Rouse. Over to Ridley. Now to Stevens. He sends ahead to center ice. We're in the final minute of play in the period. Here's Leach on the right wing from Miller. Throws it behind the goal. Millette plays it off the boards out to center. And Gartner takes over there. Mike Gartner flip-flops the puck back inside the Washington zone, and in the corner, it's played out too far for Leach. And back into the Ranger line is Randy Moeller. 35 seconds to go in the period. Here's Scott Stevens. Lead pass off the stick of Ridley. Taken back by Nichols. Nichols to the blue line and knocked to the ice by Steve Leach. Ogrodnik to the corner. 20 seconds left in the period. Here's Stevens with the puck. And he chips it out of the zone and clears it all the way down the ice. This will be icing as it's recovered by Moeller with 12 seconds left in the period. And a face-off in the Washington zone.
Gives the Rangers one more opportunity to work something here from the draw with the 12 seconds remaining. They've only got 4 shots total so far.
One thing I would hope would not happen, Al, in these final 12 seconds. Mike Liut a couple of times during this period has had rebounds come off his pads, lying maybe 3-4 feet in front of him. Several times he's had a tendency to take his goal stick and shove the puck straight out into crowds of players. I realize he wants to get it as far away from the net as possible, but in a mad scramble here with only seconds remaining, I hope he goes one side or the other and not straight out in front with those rebounds.
Their Hunter wins a big draw from Kelly Kissio.
In the corner is Langway. He jams up, and it's cleared out of the zone, and that'll take the pressure off as time runs out here in the first period. And the Capitals have 40 more minutes to win, and then they've beaten the Rangers in this playoff series. Washington leads 1-0 on the goal by Kelly Miller. The Caps outshoot New York 10-4 during period 1. More live exclusive hockey action coming your way from Madison Square Garden in New York after these messages here on WDCA TV 20.